back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sarah Palmyra and I love chatting about skincare, makeup, and sometimes clean beauty. So Morphe 2, oh my goodness. So the D'Amelio sisters are absolutely huge on TikTok. If you don't know who they are two teenage sisters, Charli D'Amelio and her sister Dixie D'Amelio, and they have amassed millions upon millions of followers. I mean, it is insane. They are probably the next Kardashians for the younger generation. It is wild. And when they came out with a makeup line, I gotta admit, I was very, very skeptical because they're not in the beauty industry. And so it felt a little bit like random. I was not excited about it and I didn't pick it up. But then I saw the words skin tint, and you know what that does to me. You guys know I love a skin tint, and I had to find out. I had to know whether the Morphe line was good. So I picked up most of the Morphe 2 products, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on them today. I'm going to be doing a demo. I've been playing with them for about 2 weeks, and I definitely have some thoughts. So I'm going to zoom you in to the skin, apply the products, tell you a little bit about the line and about them, and tell you which ones are worth your money. So if you like videos like these, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's get into the zoom in. Hello, you're all zoomed into the face, and you know the drill. It's time for product number 1. This was the product that attracted me to the line originally. It is their Hint Hint Skin Tint. It is $17 and it comes in 20 different shades. It has this really nice glass packaging with a dropper. I think it's quite good quality for it being at drugstore, and I just like the simple packaging as well. I picked up the shade Hint of Beige, which was the 4th shade in the line of 20. Now, the entire line is described as simple yet stunning, and you know, kind of Glossier vibes, but more pigmented than that, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go in with this skin tint and I'm gonna talk to you about it. So it's quite liquidy. It reminds me a little bit of the Kosas Tinted Face Oil in how liquidy it is. I was kind of surprised by how runny it is. You obviously want to shake it up, and it doesn't have any SPF in it, which personally in a drugstore product I find to be a plus, because for sensitive skin you kind of want to do your SPF separately anyway, and usually the sunscreen in a product that is a base product isn't even enough to be considered enough sunscreen for the day. So I like that because this isn't going to give you any flashback. I would say it's a light to medium coverage. I was impressed by how well it blended under the eyes and how well it concealed my under eye circles. You guys, my under eye circles are, they're not messing around. I have not been sleeping the best, and you can tell. But anyway, I really like this. It has a really gorgeous dewy finish without being too heavy on the skin. So I was surprised for how similar this seemed to the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. You apply half a drop for sheer, 1 drop for light coverage, and 2 drops for medium coverage. It's described as a radiant finish, 16-hour wear, water resistant, sweat resistant, hydrating for up to 12 hours, and non-comedogenic and vegan. Now, just a disclaimer for you in terms of marketing, anyone can say that their products are non-comedogenic. There's no third party that checks that. There's no standard for that. So you can write that on a product. It doesn't mean anything. So don't go thinking that a product is non-comedogenic and hypoallergenic just because they write that. You still need to do a patch test, but that's with everything. It's not specific to Morphe 2. Who would I recommend this for? I feel like pretty much all skin types, although I do notice that if I'm having a drier day, I need to moisturize the nose area and a little bit in here. So I feel like if you have some dry patches, you're going to want to moisturize a lot more. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. concealer just to add a little bit of brightness under the eyes. I love this concealer. I got it in the shade Light Sand, and because my under eyes have been an absolute bee lately, I find it's been really, really good coverage. I'm really impressed with it, and it may just be the best drugstore concealer I've ever tried, and it's slowly taking the place of some of my non-drugstore favorites as well. So stay tuned, but I'm so, so impressed. I don't know why I didn't try it sooner. I feel like very silly. But it blends out really, really easily over the skin tint. I've noticed that this is a great base for makeup. Powders don't catch on it and creams blend out beautifully over it. Another thing that really impressed me about this product was that it has no scent whatsoever. It's very lightweight on the skin. I can't smell it. Most drugstore products, I feel like they have a scent of some kind and it really annoys me. So this was really refreshing at the fact that it didn't smell like anything, and I'm really impressed with the price point. I think that this is my favorite drugstore foundation that I have possibly ever tried. So this is by far one of my favorite products of the line, and it really, really surprised me. I'm gonna do a little zoom in to show you how the foundation is wearing. Next up, I picked up the Wondertint Lip and Cheek Mousse. This is a very buildable cream product. It comes in 4 shades, and I picked up the shade Amaze, which is described as a vintage berry color. And what I really like about it is that it, again, very moussey, lightweight texture, and Morphe describes it as the kind of thing that can be built up for an intense color or just kind of blended across the skin with your fingers for a sheer wash of color. So I really, really like it. It's, again, very lightweight, no offensive scent, which I'm impressed by. And on the lips, it applies very velvety. It's not dewy. It doesn't really feel like a typical cream because normally I feel a little bit of feedback, like there's a bit of stickiness there, a little bit of tackiness. This feels like a cream to powder finish, and it feels very velvety under the fingers and on top of the cheeks. It does give quite a good amount of pigment, I've noticed, and so I really do think it could be built up to quite an intense color. I like to blend it out with my fingers and then blend it out with a beauty blender. But what I really like about it is that it's very long wearing for a cream blush, and it doesn't feel like a cream blush. It feels almost like a powder, which is so bizarre to me. I don't know how they really made it like that. But I think if you don't like creams, but you want to get into something that might be easy, or if you have pore concerns or oily skin, there's no reflect that comes with this product. You know how with some creams you get a little bit of dew to it? This is not going to give you that. So if you're looking for a really luminizing, radiant blush, it's not going to be this guy. But if you don't like cream blushes for that reason, you find that you look too dewy, I think that this is a really, really good option. As you can see, I've applied it really sheerly, and now I'm going to build it up so that you can see how intense the coverage can be. I also forgot to mention this guy retails for $12. So again, really not a bad price point. So far we are under $20 for everything in the collection. And I hate to say it, but I'm also really impressed with this one. Next up is the Jelly Eye Shimmer. I picked up mine in the shade Woah. These are such Gen Z names, I can't. But anyway, I picked up mine in the shade Woah, and these are meant to be a light wash of color over the eyes. They have a little bit of shimmer in there, nothing too crazy, or they can be built up for more intensity. They're just $10 and they come in 6 different shades. This is like a bronzy golden shade, and what's crazy about this one is that it really reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Bet. I'm actually going to swatch them for you so that you can see the comparison, but the shade Bet in Eyes to Mesmerize is one of my holy, holy grails, but it is a really expensive product, and so I think that this is a pretty close dupe. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Bet. This retails for $32 and it's this goldeny bronze color. And if I compare it to the Jelly eyeshadow, which is only $10, we're looking at a really similar color. Now the difference here is the texture. So the texture of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize is very moussey, and as you can see it has that reflect, and it's very whipped and moussey. And it has this really intense sheen, whereas the eye jelly feels almost watery, and it feels a little bit more lightweight. And if I go in with another layer, I deepen up the color, and I would say they are incredibly similar. $10 versus 32, it's not a bad dupe. So of course, when I saw this dupe, I was very, very excited. I just never thought the day would come where I'd find a $10 dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. So to prove my point even more, I'm going to do the Morphe 2 on this side and the Charlotte Tilbury on this side, just so that you guys can draw your own conclusions and see the comparison in action. So I'm gonna go in with the Morphe 2 with my fingers and just pop that on the lid. Again, I love this color. I think it looks really, really nice on so many different people. It's a lovely bronzy golden color. And I like how with these products, you can really take it down and kind of blend it in for a sheer wash of color, or you can build it up for a night out. I like that you don't have to use a brush, you can use your fingers. I like using my Real Techniques brush just to kind of blend it into the crease. I find that it gives a really pretty wash of color up into the crease, and sometimes it can even trick the eye into thinking that I've used more than one color when I haven't. But this is what that shade looks like, and now I'm gonna go in on the Charlotte Tilbury side. Again, this is very much more moussey. Now in terms of color, it's not identical. The Charlotte Tilbury is slightly more cool toned than the Morphe Jelly Eye Shimmer. Just by a little bit, you can really see more when they're on the eyes, but I find that it's very similar in vibe, so I just wanted to show you, because if this is one of your favorites and you're looking for a dupe, I do think that this is a pretty good contender. But as you can see, this is definitely more of a sheen, and over here we have more of a shimmer. Last but not least, we have a lip oil. This is the Glassified Lip Oil in the shade Be Kind, which is an orangey color. This was probably my least favorite out of the line. I know lip oils are really, really trendy right now, so it makes sense why the D'Amelio sisters launched this, but it didn't feel like a lip oil. So out the gate, it's kind of sticky, and it has an unpleasant scent to it, in my opinion. Cheap. I don't know how else to explain it. It smells like a dollar store lip gloss. I don't know, it just smells kind of chemical, I guess. And it looks really pretty on the lips when I first apply it, but it's kind of sticky and thick in a way that doesn't feel moisturizing at all. It feels more like a traditional gloss. I can definitely smell it while it's on my lips, and it feels a little bit tacky. Throughout the day, it also ends up, I get a little line. So I know with some cheaper lip glosses, depending on how long you wear them for, eventually you might end up getting a little bit of a line of like white as the product gathers. And this has done that to me every single time. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's not a super flattering look, so I don't really like it. I do think that there are better lip oils out there, and even comparable to this price point. I just don't like it. I didn't think it was anything special, and I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase it. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back for one last final zoom in and my final thoughts. And there you have it, you guys. That is the Morphe 2 line by the D'Amelio sisters. Are we surprised? I am surprised. I feel like this makeup is really nice because it's the kind of thing that you could kind of build up for a night out. Like, I feel like I would wear this on a date night, but you can also play with and do a very sheer wash of all of the products for a very no makeup look, which can be also really, really pretty. And I like that it has both of those options. These are really nice quality from the packaging to the shades offered. It is a higher end, it feels like a higher end line. So I'm really, really impressed. I'm looking at my skin right now. I love it. I gotta be honest. I have to say, out of everything here, I highly, highly recommend the skin tint. It's $17, 20 different shades. I thought the undertones were really sophisticated, and it's really, really good quality. I would say the only person who may have a little trouble is if you have a lot of dry patches. You may have to really moisturize, and if you're oily, you may have to powder. I have not powdered, and right now my skin is combo. sometimes a little oily, especially in the T-zone, and I haven't noticed any problems with it. So I really, really like that. I also like that it doesn't have sunscreen, it's not going to give you flashback, and the consistency is very, very thin. My next favorite product would probably have to be the eyeshadow, just because it really reminds me in quality of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. Not only does the shade remind me of that, but it performs like some of my higher end cream products, and a really good cream shadow is hard to find. Then in third place, we have the cream blush, because it's a very interesting cream blush. It feels a bit like a velvety, moussey finish, and I think if you don't like cream blushes or you're scared of cream blushes, it's a great one to pick up. The color is not unnatural, and it's very, very nice on the cheeks, and is also long wearing. And then in last place, what I wouldn't recommend is the lip oil. Unless you're obsessed with a very traditional sticky gloss, I don't think you're going to get along with this, so I would not recommend that one in their line. But all in all, I'm so impressed. If you want to see more drugstore videos, I know that you guys do, so please let me know. Comment below which brands you'd be interested. I love doing full faces for you guys, so please give this a thumbs up if you like more videos like these, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys!